Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Lewis, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the differences between the Hondata Flashpro and the Ktuner V1 or V2. Both the same. Both of them do the same thing, just different hardware. One is a dongle, and then the V2 is going to be like this one. You get a nice little touchscreen display that shows all your sensor data, and you got shift lights. And also, big shout out to Axon Industries. He sent this out to me super fast. If you need any Honda parts, make sure to hit him up, tell him I sent you. And yeah, I'll be sure to leave the links down in the description box below for both Hondata and the Ktuner for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the pros of both, and I'm gonna go into the cons afterwards. It should be noted that both of them are really good tuning solutions if you just want to get an off-the-shelf map, get more power out of your car. They both are really good options. You can't go wrong with either or. I've owned both of them. I've had multiple Civics that I've ran Hondata and Ktuner with, and I haven't had any bad experiences with either one. So I had a 9th gen Civic Si I used Hondata Flashpro on. I've had a 10th gen Civic Si that I had Ktuner on. I've had a 10th gen Civic Type R that I had Hondata on. And now I've had the 11th gen Si that I've had both the Hondata Flashpro and the Ktuner. So in case you're wondering, what I have to offer you is just the experiences that I've had over the years of using both of them. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start with the Hondata Flashpro and the pros that comes with choosing that one over the Ktuner. And I'm gonna go ahead, list them off, and go into a little bit of detail on each one. So the first one is going to be the off-the-shelf maps, how easy it is to navigate through the off-the-shelf maps and select and deselect things, customize it the way you want to. It's a very straightforward user experience. It's not anything that's too intimidating or overwhelming to understand, and they just make it so easy, and the software is it just runs really well. Next is going to be the option to do live tuning. So this could be a big deal for you depending on where your tuner, or maybe you have a preferred tuner that's not located in your immediate area. If you have Hondata, you can do live tuning. So with live tuning, you can go to a dyno, plug up your Flashpro with your laptop, and then a tuner in another state or in another location. They can link up to your car via internet, and they can make changes on the fly when you're tuning. Versus the Ktuner, you can't do that. They don't offer live tuning. They don't offer on-the-fly changes. So since Hondata does, you can make adjustments, and you don't have to turn your car off, upload a new tune, turn the car on, do a pull, turn the car off, and just keep that cycle going. You don't have to do that. You can do live tuning as you're doing pulls on the dyno. And as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, dyno time is expensive, so that could be saving you a lot of money. Okay, another one, it's not really that big of a deal, especially a lot of cars now can do the Hondata hack or the hack for Ktuner to be on your infotainment, but I don't think 11th gen Civics have that option yet. So with the Hondata, you get the Hondata app on both the Android devices and iOS devices. And that can be a pretty big deal because, as you can see, it's just a dongle. It doesn't display any information, but with the Hondata app, it does display a lot of information, and you can choose what sensors you want to see. You can choose what order you want to see them in. So it's just a really big benefit if you just want to have that on your phone to be able to see, whatever it is that you want to see, whether it's intake temps, coolant temps. Another big one is going to be the E85 content. That's a big one that I use. But yeah, it's just nice to be able to have that on both Android and Apple devices. Ktuner, again, only supports that for Android devices. I don't know why, but you just can't get that in the Apple devices. As far as I'm aware, I can't download the Ktuner app on my iOS the last time I checked. This next one is huge, especially if you're a Civic Type R owner, and that applies for the FK8, more than likely the future FL5 Type R. So this is something to keep in mind if you're going to be looking into getting yourself a Civic Type R here in the near future. And that's going to be the fact that you can unlock the ECU straight from your laptop. You don't have to mail it out. And on top of that, you get flex fuel support. The Ktuner does not support unlocking your ECU from your laptop, and it does not have support for flex fuel with the FK8 platform. Hondata just continues to innovate with the FK8 platform. They continue to push out aftermarket products, not just their Flashpro, but fuel system, MAF sensors. I mean, they just have a lot of support for the FK8 platform. So just to go into a bit more detail with the software of the Hondata, it is extremely easy to use. It's lightning fast. So when you get your Hondata Flashpro and you hook it up to your car, you have to register your Flashpro and you have to register it to your car as well. All these, like the Flashpro and the Ktuner, they have to be locked to your car and they have to be registered for you to use them. There's no way around it. And then if you want to sell it, you have to unlock it from your vehicle, so that way you can sell it off to somebody else so they can lock it to their vehicle. But the registration process with Hondata is super fast. It's almost immediate, especially when you have an FK8 and you go to unlock your ECU. That is also something that is relatively fast. I mean, it's way better than taking your ECU out, shipping it out, waiting a couple days, being without your car, and just to wait to get your ECU back in the mail. And I'm sure there's a lot of fear that goes into that, especially if your ECU gets damaged in transit. So that's pretty much it for the Hondata Flashpro. It's really straightforward. There's not much that else I can say. It's just really easy to use. I mean, they've been doing this, they've been in the game for a long time, so there's a lot of respect to be had being in the game for so long. And again, there's a lot of trash talking out there between the two, and I don't care. They both do the same thing for me. Right now, I'm not really doing any real racing, so I'll find out the limitations as my build progresses. Now, onto the pros of the Ktuner. I'll start off by saying the biggest pro to the Ktuner is the overall customization that you have in the tunes. It is crazy how many options you have with the Ktuner, and everything is available to you with the click of a drop-down box. You just select what you want and upload it to your ECU and you have it. On top of all the customization that you get with the Ktuner, you also have multiple maps that you can switch to on the fly. So if you switch to sport mode, it'll give you a different map pretty much. You'll get a different, you can set it to be a higher PSI if you want to, different traction control if you want to. And then the same thing with on the fly map switching with the steering wheel. You can press the cruise control button. It'll prompt you to select between, I believe, 1, 2, and 3 of the different maps that you uploaded. And again, it's going to be different PSI ratings, different throttle responses, and different traction control. And that is really awesome to have. I don't really use that very much. I pretty much am set to the most aggressive setting all the time. All right, so this one is pretty big in my opinion, especially since we're all balling on a budget with our Civics, and that's going to be that the Ktuner V2 with touchscreen, with the shift lights and everything, is actually cheaper than the Hondata Flashpro. I'll go ahead, I'll put the prices up there so you can compare, but it's significantly cheaper for what you get. Hondata Flashpro has been doing the dongle thing for a very long time. Ktuner has been doing both a dongle and a touchscreen. That's just something that a lot of us consider, especially when we're comparing features and what you get for the price. And for the price, I mean, I believe this is $650, and that it being cheaper than the Hondata, it's almost like it's no competition if you have a Civic Si, right? Because you get the touchscreen, you can see all your data on there. You don't need to worry if you don't have the app. You can customize the gauges to what you want to see. You got shift lights if that's something that you want to do. I mean, it's kind of crazy that that's actually cheaper than the Hondata. Another huge consideration with the Ktuner, another huge pro with the Ktuner is going to be the fact that you can unlock the Ktuner from your car and you can transfer it over to another platform if you wanted to. So if you have a Civic Si, you can unlock it from your Civic Si and sell it to somebody with an Accord, or you can sell it to somebody with a Type R. This works through all the platforms. You don't have to buy one specifically for your platform like you have to do with the Hondata. The Hondata you have to buy for the specific car. Like, you can't take a Civic Si Flash Pro from Hondata and put it in a Civic Type R. It's just not gonna work. They're very specific to their platform. And that's a pretty big pro, especially for those of us that don't keep our cars very long and we tend to go on to the next generation, or we upgrade to something else, you know? Life changes, so, you know, because the bigger the market that you're able to sell to, the faster you're able to sell your Flash Pro or your Ktuner, because there's... All right, so that's pretty much sums up the pros. There's also a lot more benefits that I'm not too educated on, and that has to do with tuning. So if a lot of you in the Civic community know this tuner named Derek Robinson, he published this article that really breaks down the differences between Hondata and Ktuner. He does a really good job. I'll link the article down in the description box below. But what I got out of it is that the Hondata is really limited to the ECU limits. It operates off limits where the Ktuner operates off targets. So a tuner can set a target and the car will try to reach that target, where the Hondata is limited to limits. And that can create a very rough ride. As he put it, it creates an oscillating effect that could be kind of uncomfortable in the way that it rides. So there's that. Another thing is the traction control on the Ktuner is, in my opinion, superior to Hondata, because I can set the traction control to as aggressive or as not aggressive as I want it to, and it just rides better. So through my experiences with the Hondata tune that I always ran the Flex Fuel tune, and the Hondata's Flex Fuel tune to me felt faster than doing Flex Fuel on the Ktuner. The Ktuner to me feels like the better ride, because I think that the tune is just put together a little bit better. I don't know, the traction control just makes it that much better. I feel like I get a better ride using the Ktuner, but I feel like I get a faster ride using the Hondata. So, I mean, and these are just off-the-shelf maps. Again, you shouldn't gauge their worth based off the off-the-shelf maps. More than likely, a lot of you are going to be going custom tune anyways. So, but for those of you that are wondering about the off-the-shelf maps, I think Hondata, the Flex Fuel one, felt faster to me. Ktuner, to me, felt smoother. So this one is not really a pro or a con. I'm not too sure how it really affects maybe you go into a dealership and then finding out that you put a tune on the car. Hondata, when you flash back to stock, it does not flash to the original ECU part number tune. The Ktuner will flash your car back to the original ECU part number tune. So that's something to keep in mind. I don't know if they're able to tell whether or not you tune your car or not with the Ktuner if you went back to stock. So don't ask me that question, I don't know. Personally, I already know that I'm gonna void my warranty, so I don't worry about warranty. I don't even know what a warranty is. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go into the cons. I've already talked about the cons a little bit, and that's going to be, well, the Hondata Flash Pro relies heavily on limits, so that could create, again, like Derek Robinson, he mentioned in the article, it could create an oscillation effect if it's bouncing off limits, where the Ktuner will reach for targets. So really it all comes down to the tuning. The last con for the Hondata Flash Pro is going to be that it's not cross-platform compatible. You're limited to just your car. If you were to unlock it and try and put it into another car, it'd have to be a similar car. The Honda Civic Si Flash Pro has to go into the same generation Honda Civic Si. So finally, I'm gonna get into the cons of the Ktuner, and that's really gonna have to do a lot with the software. The software that you get with Ktuner on your laptop is pretty slow to come up. It can be pretty glitchy. It takes a long time to load with certain things, especially when you're messing around with the tunes and stuff. It's just not very responsive how the Hondata is. The Hondata Flash Pro software is very responsive, and it doesn't really seem to glitch out too much. The servers are really slow throughout the registration process. I've experienced this firsthand. Sometimes you'll be just sitting there waiting for it to register for quite some time, enough to give you anxiety on whether or not you're about to break your ECU. But that doesn't happen. So don't get too scared. Just give it time. It will register. It will lock to your ECU, and you'll be fine. once you register everything and you go to upload a tune, it actually goes really smooth. There's no problems with it. You won't have any issues. So this next con is going to be for the FK8 users, and that's going to be the fact that you cannot unlock your ECU straight from your laptop. You have to remove your ECU and ship it out to Ktuner or somebody that's authorized to unlock your ECU. And then obviously that means you're going to be without your car for a couple days until you can get it mailed back to you. The turnaround time for that is pretty quick, but still, if you have a Type R, you're probably going to go with Hondata anyways. Next con, a lot of you are very passionate about this feature, and it's going to be the live tuning feature. Like I said, you can't live tune with this. You can't have a tuner from another state plug into your car via the internet and make tunes on the fly. You have to do a pull, read the data, make changes, turn the car off, turn the battery on, upload the tune, do another pull, read data. You know, that's just the way that the Ktuner is. You can't do on-the-fly changes or live tuning. And the last con of the Ktuner, again, has to do with Type R owners. That is the fact that there's not much support for the Type R owners. Yes, you can still use it, but I mean, I personally wouldn't choose Ktuner for my Type R. There's just more options available to you if you go with the Hondata. So that really kind of leads me into my recommendation on which way I would go, and that's going to be, if you have a Civic Type R, go with the Hondata Flashpro. If you have a Civic Si, go with the Ktuner. It's cheaper, you get a lot more customization, especially with the Ktuner, the way it tunes off targets. I think there's more potential for the Civic Si's with Ktuner than there is with the Civic Type R. So that leads me on to my recommendation, really, and I'm sure a lot of you, from what I've said in the video, you probably already know where I'm going with this, and it's if you have a FK8 Civic Type R, I would recommend that you choose Hondata. I mean, you can unlock your ECU from your computer, you have a lot more support, you have a lot more aftermarket support. Ktuner would be best for Civic Si owners and Civic Sport owners, pretty much every other Civic that's not an FK8. And that has a lot to do with really like what you get for what you pay. There's a lot more customization with the Ktuner. It's cheaper, especially if you go with the dongle version, it's significantly cheaper. And yeah, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I've ran both of them. Again, you shouldn't go off of off-the-shelf maps. You should just go off of what you get for what value you get for what you pay for. And yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with either or. If you want to go Hondata, go Hondata. I mean, I ran it for months and I was extremely happy with it. I was happy with the way it performed. And now I've been running Ktuner for probably a month or two now, and I've had, again, no issues. It drives amazing. I still get amazing drivability out of both of them. And yeah, I mean, I personally don't think you can go wrong. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please smash that like button. If you want to see future videos, consider subscribing. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you have any questions, be sure to leave it down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.